Hello everybody, I'm Tim Blair. This is the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update for the week of March 12th, 2014. Our weekly web updates are brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com with the good folks of Piggott State Bank, member FDIC equal housing lender and serving this region since back in 1930. Well, kind of forced into the truck today by the high winds just to be able to hear me over the microphone. We've had high winds the last several days here in northeast Arkansas. It's here on Thursday, and the spring weather is starting to become much more evident after Winter Storm Titan moved through here and left us under that layer of ice and snow that we documented in last week's webcast. And we had the warming conditions, a lot of melting and so forth, rough on some of the gravel roads and areas, but we did have a thaw. Conditions got much better. In fact, got up to around 70 degrees, and we had another cold snap, and right now we have had windy and cool conditions, but it is rather sunny outside. And I'm here at Independence Park in Piggott, the baseball diamond complex that is owned and operated by the city as a city park. The baseball and softball Mohawks play here, though the games that were scheduled for this week for this location were postponed, and both teams have been playing in other locales, and actually both teams will be playing today on Thursday, or rather the Lady Mohawks will be playing today on Thursday at Harrisburg, and the Mohawks are scheduled to play tomorrow on Friday down at Blytheville to make up a game that was postponed due to the weather with the Chicks down there. But we bring you out here to Independence Park to talk about baseball season a little bit, and hopefully that'll urge the warmer weather in spring on, despite the conditions that we have had. And another sure sign of spring is whenever you can turn on the radio and hear the Cardinals. So want to talk a little bit about baseball coming up a bit later on, but we do want to encourage you to pick up a print edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. A lot of great information and stories in there this week. We have all the details on the Pico food story, of which company is going to be building a feed mill in Corning, and also going to be putting in a poultry processing facility in Pocahontas. Should mean about 1,000 jobs for northeast Arkansas, but we also go a little further into the impact that we'll have for Clay County farmers and others, and that's all in this week's edition. Pick up a copy of that. We also have the story on Dayton Gilkison, the young student who was enrolled at Piggott Elementary School right over there and wasn't able to come to class due to an illness, and there's been a great effort underway to provide him with birthday cards. His birthday is coming up on the 25th. Also have complete updates on both the Rector and Piggott school board meetings, in which they talked about, of course, snow days and how to make those up, and the waivers that they have sent to the state. And that's also available in this week's edition of the paper as well. We encourage you to pick up a copy of that today. Now we've got sort of breaking news from overnight. Folks in the Pollard community will be sad to hear that Hunter's Cafe burned down early this morning in that community. We did have a chance to run out there this morning to take a look. Took the video camera along. Let's take a look at that now. I know a lot of folks will be sad about that because it was an excellent eating location, especially for the farmers and the people that worked out in that area and live in that area as well. And we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, no details on any cause or anything. Fire broke out and was reported around 4 o'clock this morning, completely involved. Of course, the fire station is right next door. That building almost adjacent across an alley from the new Pollard Fire Station there on the corner of the highway and the main drag. Well, we'd like to also let you know that coming up in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, we'll be recapping the just completed season for the Marmaduke Lady Greyhounds as they lost in the semifinals of the state basketball tournament, and ran into a really tough Spring Hill team that had put 81 points on Salem, and we have all the details coming up in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat with a complete wrap-up on that. We'll also be taking a look at the upcoming baseball and softball seasons for the Rector Cougars, recap of the first games for the Lady Mohawks played a practice game at Greene County Tech, and also the Mohawks getting a 7-3 win at Hoxie on Tuesday afternoon to begin their season with a conference victory. Congratulations to them. And again, we look forward to baseball and softball seasons and also the track season. Mention that because in this current edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, you can see all the Mohawk track teams. We have all the track athletes, boys, girls, distance runners, and the track team and all. We have all the photos in this week's edition. You can get that. Also a little preview on the Mohawk baseball team and a photo of them as well with their really cool looking practice shirts, which were provided to them courtesy of our sponsor, Piggott State Bank. So hats off to them. Well, as we leave you this week, we're going to just take a little closer look at Independence Park. This is not only the site for all of the T-ball, the youth, the machine pitch, the youth pitch, the high school, and baseball and softball all play here on the 5-field configuration, which has been here for going on like 20 years now, or maybe going on 25 years now. But it's a great facility. If you've never been here, you should check it out when you're in town. And of course, baseball fans and folks know all about it. It will also be the site of this year's Clay County Relay for Life coming up on Saturday, May 3rd. We'll talk more about that coming up in future editions of the webcast. But as we leave you, we see that the Parks and Recreation workers are out there busily trying to get the fields ready for play in the near future, and we leave you with that this week. And remind you that the Clay County Times-Democrat weekly web updates brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com by the good folks of Piggott State Bank. And until next time, I'm Tim Blair reporting.
Keep it from bouncing away from him.
He just wouldn't give up on it, though, would he?
The ball got up into the...